Well, the unofficial start to summer Memorial Day weekend is fast approaching. Brad Gay will be giving us the forecast for this weekend, and then we'll have our new team member Ryan Bells, who will take us to the racetrack with this week's feature story. All that and more, whether or not, starts right now. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Jillian Bohenick.
And I'm your forecaster, Brad Gay.
Well, Brad, it's been quite the rainy stretch the past few days. Is there any hope for those celebrating this Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, we are going to see a little bit of a clearing trend and a warming trend as we head towards the Memorial Day holiday, though. We'll have more on that in the upcoming forecast.
Sounds good to me. Now let's head on over to Nature in the News.
Well, the drought in California was significant last month, but it has only gotten worse. The U.S. Drought Monitor's release last Thursday confirms that 100% of the state is now in one of the three worst stages of drought. The highest stage stretches from Los Angeles to San Francisco and then inland toward the Sierra Nevada foothills. This summer is California's dry season, and officials say that improvement isn't likely. This week, temperatures soared into the triple digits, setting records, and because of the hot, dry conditions, the risk of wildfires significantly increased. At least 7 fires have broken out between San Diego and San Clemente since last Wednesday. Another major drought is affecting parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, and New Mexico. Officials are hoping that an expected El Niño this summer will bring some of that much-needed rainfall and cooler temperatures.
Early this week, El Salvador's San Miguel volcano erupted, prompting the evacuation of at least 1,000 residents. The action was taken as a precautionary measure. Known locally as Teparastique, the San Miguel volcano is one of the most active in the country of El Salvador. The volcano erupted back in December, which was the first time it had done so in approximately 37 years. The last significant eruption of the 7,025-foot volcano was back in the year 1976.
Well, if you were outside at all last week, during the evening you may have noticed Wednesday's full flower moon. And that's the first full moon of May, and it is typically called the flower moon because it is at the same time as the first spring blooms. It is often called the hare moon, the corn planting moon, and the milk moon. The full flower moon represents increased fertility of animals to bear young as temperatures become warm enough, signaling the near end of late frosts. The moon occurs during the same period of time when the moon blocks the view of Saturn for 1 hour, or the occultation of Saturn. June's full moon is sometimes also called the flower moon, but it is more often referred to as the strawberry moon. That full moon will occur on June 13th.
The severe storms that passed through the southeastern United States late last week took a toll on Florida and North Carolina. Streets were flooded and thousands of folks were without power due to heavy rainfall and thunderstorms. During the same storm, a tornado touched down at Miami International Airport. The nearby Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport was experiencing delays as well. Waterspouts were also reported to have occurred in some surrounding areas. 6 inches of rain fell as a result of the storm on Thursday. If only some of that rain fell on California. Brad is next with the forecast.
All right, well, thank you, Jill. We'll take you now into the central Pennsylvania forecast, going to look at that weather for the long weekend. I know a lot of people have that Monday off, so we'll be talking about that. In terms of your weather for Friday, though, we'll have a disturbance off the coast, so that's going to be bringing in a little bit of rain, particularly to the eastern portion of the state, and mainly in the morning. So here in central Pennsylvania, we could be dodging a few showers in the morning on Friday. Then after that, we're left with mostly cloudy skies through Friday afternoon and into Friday night. Saturday, though, high pressure moves eastward into the Ohio Valley, and that's going to at least keep the rain at bay as that disturbance moves offshore. But we will see winds out of the northwest to west, and that's not really a great wind direction for warming things up significantly here in Happy Valley. So we will see things mainly staying mostly cloudy, but it will be mild. It will be about seasonable levels with temperatures at about 72 degrees on your Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, though, the clouds begin to move out, and high pressure shifts offshore, and that's going to bring us some winds from the southwest to west, and that's going to really usher in those warmer temperatures. We're going to see highs topping out near 80 degrees across much of the Commonwealth, with plenty of sunshine returning to the region as well. In terms of your forecast, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, here we have the temperatures through the lower half of the atmosphere. That's a really good way to look at the pattern without going into too much detail. Friday, we have this little bit of a dip associated with that disturbance that's going to be moving offshore. By the time we get to Saturday, though, that disturbance really moves offshore, and we're getting into that ridge, and things are really going to heat up with that ridge, as that is going to continue to be the story into your Monday and beyond. In terms of your exact details on the forecast, Friday bringing us that chance of showers, mainly in the morning, 68 degrees your high. Clouds lingering around through Friday night, lows in the lower 50s. And then by the time we get into your Saturday, we'll be a touch warmer. We'll see a little bit of clearing, 72 degrees your high under mostly cloudy skies on Saturday. Then for your Sunday, or Saturday night rather, 50 degrees, clouds beginning to move out, and then into Sunday, with things really begin to warm up, we'll be up to near 80 degrees through your Sunday with plenty of sunshine, and then the Memorial Day forecast showing great conditions for any outdoor activities that you have planned, whether it be ceremonies, parades, or barbecues. Perfect weather as we kick off the summer season for Memorial Day. We'll be back in a moment with more.
Most sporting events take place outside. Take football, for instance. And when it rains, well, they continue to play. The National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, is another example of an outdoor sporting event. However, when it rains during a NASCAR weekend, they have to make sure the racetrack is dry before they can continue to race. Whether that means a rain delay or the need to reschedule, NASCAR has said they will do everything they can to make sure the race is run.
Understand your crew has an unprecedented amount of equipment, jet dryers and other machinery to get this track as raceable as quickly as possible once the rain stops.
And that's it. It needs to stop before we can begin the process of drying. So we are equipped. The International Speedway, Daytona Speedway, has about every drying piece of machinery they got across the country here today because we know that the fans at home and the fans here in Daytona want to see this race run, and we do too. So the sooner the better.
So far through the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season, 7 of the 11 race weekends have been impacted by weather. Whether it has been practice, qualifying, and or the race, preparing for weather events is crucial for the safety of the drivers, crews, and fans. However, back in August of 2012 at Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, after the NASCAR race, a 41-year-old man was killed when a bolt of lightning struck him. Numerous other fans were transported to area hospitals. According to NASCAR.com, quote, a violent thunderstorm struck the area, leading NASCAR officials to call the Sprint Cup event after 98 of a scheduled 160 laps had been completed. There were lightning strikes in the area shortly after the race concluded. Track spokesman Bob Pleblin said there were at least 2 strikes on the raceway property, one in the parking lot behind the grandstand, and another near a gate area. He added that the track broadcasted warnings for spectators to take cover, end quote. Because NASCAR does not race in the rain, they have implemented technology throughout the years to help dry their racetracks. For many years, NASCAR has used jet dryers. NASCAR's jet dryers are just that, aircraft engines pulled on trailers by pickup trucks. Introduced in 1976, the jet dryers blast air at over 1,000 degrees. Unfortunately, during the 2012 Daytona 500, driver Juan Pablo Montoya had a mechanical failure, causing his car to collide with one of the jet dryers during a caution. This collision resulted in more than a dry racetrack. It caused nearly 200 gallons of jet fuel to ignite.
I mean, it just exploded. When it hit it, it just exploded.
Nowadays, NASCAR utilizes a new technology called NASCAR Air Titan. Air Titan debuted in 2013 and is able to drive racetracks up to 80% faster. Fox Sports NASCAR reporter and former NASCAR Championship crew chief Jeff Hammond explains how it works.
For the first time, they're all but going to blow, almost squeegee the water down the racetrack with a series of these air handlers and get the water off the racetrack, then follow in behind it with the jet dryers to dry the racetrack. This should increase the drying time much, much more.
Then just this season, NASCAR unveiled the newest version of Air Titan, Air Titan 2.0. This new system works by blowing compressed air and heat from the back of a Toyota Tundra as the truck drives slowly over the wet racetrack. Air Titan 2.0 delivers air at speeds of over 550 miles per hour, raising the air temperature by 70 degrees. Compared to the original Air Titan 2.0 emits 80% less carbon dioxide per hour, consumes 78% less fuel per hour, and reduces the drying time by 25 to 50%, depending on the atmospheric conditions. NASCAR's Air Titan 2.0 could dry a football field in 20.5 seconds. As evident, Mother Nature plays a major role during NASCAR weekends. For Weather or Not, I'm Ryan Bells.
All right, well, thank you, Ryan, for that report. Going to take you through the long weekend and into the beginning and middle of next week. A look at the extended forecast. But first, a look back at your Memorial Day weekend. Friday bringing us a few showers as we see a disturbance move offshore. Going to be mainly in the morning, though, and mainly towards the eastern half of the Commonwealth. Highs on Friday in the upper 60s with lows in the lower 50s. Saturday, we see some clouds hanging around as we see high pressure begin to take control. Highs will be in the lower 70s, lows will be near 50. Then Sunday, we begin to crank up the heat as winds shift out of the southwest. Going to be a warm one, 80 degrees, sunny skies for the most part, and that's going to continue to be the story into your Monday. Take a look at the upper level pattern, showing you those temperatures in the lower half of the atmosphere. Through your Saturday and into your Sunday, we'll have this ridge beginning to take control. That's going to continue to be the story into Monday as well. Then we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, though, we'll see a little bit of a disturbance swinging through to our north, and that could have the potential to disrupt our weather a little bit. We'll talk about that in the extended forecast graphic. But then by the time we get into your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll see that ridge continuing to dominate our weather. So in the extended forecast, again, we'll see the warm temperatures through your Monday and then into your Tuesday a little bit. But then by Wednesday and Thursday, we could see a little bit of a dip as we see that upper level disturbance swing through. Could see some afternoon showers and storms both of those days and perhaps even into your Friday, though it is likely that we'll see a little bit of a rebound as we head towards the end of the week and into next weekend. All right, well, that is the latest forecast. Jill?
Well, Brad, I'm glad there is some hope for us in the forecast, but I guess we'll have to enjoy that while it lasts.
Oh, absolutely, Jill.
Well, that takes us back to the Weather Whiz quiz. Earlier in the show, we asked you, in which year was the wettest May Day in State College history recorded? Was it A, 1953, B, 2014, C, 2012, or D, 2002? If you answered B, 2014, you are correct. Last Friday, we had a record rainfall recorded of 2.78 inches. And that actually set us at a record for the wettest May Day.
Yeah, that just barely eclipsed the old record of 2.6 inches, which was recorded back on May 26th, 1953.
Well, I just hope we won't be getting that much rain anytime soon.
Yeah, this weekend looking pretty good if you're thinking about heading out to some of the local events. Fire Company Parade in Boalsburg on Saturday, and the Boalsburg Fire Company Carnival the whole weekend. Certainly looking good for both of those, Jill.
Sounds great to me. Well, that's about all we have for this week's episode of Whether or Not. Once again, I'm your host, Jillian Bohennick.
And I'm your forecaster, Brad Gay.
Have a great Memorial Day weekend.